watch me on a daily basis are probably like, oh my god, she can actually do colorful eyeshadows and not just brown on her eyes. That's a surprise. Hey guys, welcome back and I hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a comparison video between two products that I'm constantly recommending on my channel. So if you have been watching me for a while, you will know that I've been constantly talking about the Wet n Wild foundation and the Lakme foundation, and I myself have wondered about the fact that which one is the one that I prefer for myself, and I'm pretty sure the people who have watched review for both of these foundations will be wondering the same fact as well. So I thought I would do a comparison video, not just for you guys but also for myself, just to decide which one is the one that I will be purchasing after I go through these foundations. So yeah, in case you're wondering which foundation is the one that you would want to purchase, then this video is right here for you. So I have both the foundations over here, and this video is very much of a comparison format. So if you want individual reviews, I've already done these videos, so I will be linking them in the description and as well as in the cards around. So yeah, check them out if you want to. Starting with availability, as I mentioned, both of these are available everywhere. I feel like Wet n Wild is slightly less available in offline stores. I feel like I've seen it in stores, but I haven't seen a proper store for these, but I'm pretty sure Nykaa probably stocks this. So in case you want to get your shade matched in the Lakme one, in the Wet n Wild one, I feel like you'll be able to do it in offline stores as well. Let's talk about the price. So the Wet n Wild foundation actually retails for 599 rupees for 30 ml of product. The Lakme one actually retails for 475 product for 25 ml of product, so it's 5 ml less than what you would get in the Wet n Wild one. But at the same time, if you consider the full price in both of these foundations, this one is definitely a lot cheaper than this one. Having said that, I know for a fact that both of these foundations are often seen on discount, and when I say on discount, I mean 50% discount. I picked both of these for 300 rupees, so that's why I'm very sure about that fact. If you consider the full price, this one is obviously a better deal, but when you consider them on discount, then the Wet n Wild comes out to be a little cheaper. The shade names, as I mentioned, Toffee Pecan and W320 Warm Caramel. Talking about the description for the shade, this is written over here, so it's medium deep with neutral undertones, and this one is W320. So W stands for warm. They have different undertones. For me, I have the W and this is in the color 320. For me, the neutral one, it's a shade or two darker than my skin tone. Can I not make it work? I can, but I feel like if I'm wearing this outside, I feel the need to constantly mix something in it because it just sometimes tends to look a little muddy. If you're wearing foundations that is a shade darker and also a wrong undertone, obviously it's not gonna look perfect. So I do have to mix this in with other foundations, and I will say even after mixing the foundation in, sometimes the orange undertone really comes through. So this is a lot more reddy orangey on my skin tone, a little bit peachy kinda maybe. So that's the reason this is not something that I instantly pick up when I want to go out. This one on the other hand, it's a hair lighter, but after a while it does tend to match my neck, and if I bronze properly, this works fine. If this was slightly darker, I feel like this would be a perfect match for me, but as you guys know, I tend to apply my foundation in the centers of my face and then blend it outwards. That's the reason I prefer this color over this color. This one is available in a warm undertone, but it is not available in India. So the caramel shade, it's not available in India. This on the other hand, I don't think there is a warm tone shade that is deeper than this color. I will correct myself if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the darkest warm toned color they have in this range. Also, this one has like 7 shades available and this one has 16, so obviously Lakme takes the cake in this one. But also, as I mentioned, the darkest warm tone shade is a hair lighter to my skin. That says a lot. The Wet n Wild one also, it has 7 shades, and I think this is the second deepest shade if I'm not wrong, and after that we have Mocha. Even that is a neutral tone shade, so that's not warm either. So if you want a warm tone color, then you don't have a choice. Desert Beige is their last warm tone color. It's probably more suitable for NC42 skin tones. I'm NC44. Also, this has an extra SPF of 20, which is great. Don't depend on this one for your SPF, but if a brand is adding some extra SPF, it's always helpful. Coming to the smell, both of these smell strongly. This one smells strongly floral to the point where I've seen people complain about headaches. This one smells strongly of paint to the point where I've seen people complain about headaches. Either you want to smell paint, either you want to smell flowers, it's upon you. For me, both of these smells don't bother me. Obviously, when you apply it, it's kind of weird, but after a while you just get used to it. So be careful with both of these. If you have issues with smell, if your skin is super reactive, super sensitive, stay away from both of these. Coming on to the texture, this one is a proper normal medium consistency liquid foundation. This one I find it's a little bit more liquidy than this one. Both of these do work, but I just find that I like working with this foundation better than this one, solely because you can take a lot of your time and blend this out and blend this in. It does not dry down really easily. This one on the other hand dries down a little quicker than this one, but but not something that will make my decision skewer towards one. It's fine. Both of these are very comparable in their texture and consistency. Also, I forgot to talk about the packaging. Both of these have their ugly packaging, spatula packaging. Oh my god, I'm not gonna talk about it. You guys know, people who watch me know how much I hate it, but this one is somehow worse than this one. The spatula will literally bend and stuff. Lakme. If you are putting energy into foundation, put your full energy into it. Wet n Wild, stop this packaging. Especially people with active acne and who are going through cystic or hormonal things, I would suggest you to not go for this, because you're wiping it on your face and then putting it back, so the bacteria from your face is going into your foundation again. So yeah, be careful with these. Coming on how it looks on skin, this one I did find that it slightly clings to dry patches, but if I moisturize that area well, it's fine. If you are a very dry skin person, if you live in an atmosphere that is very dry, you might have slight issue with this, but it's really not that noticeable. Coming on to the coverage, both of these are very comparable in coverage aspects as well. This gives medium to high coverage, so does this. If you have watched my review for this one and this one, you will see that it covers pretty well, and if you don't have very strong hyperpigmentation, you'll be fine with either of these foundations. I find that this one creases a lot more than this one, so if you apply this under eyes, and if you're like a person who likes to skip concealer and you're gonna be dependent on this one, no. If you blink twice, you'll start seeing creases. And even if you are like, oh my god, let's set it as soon as possible, it will still crease. You blink once and it creases. That's how liquidy and creasy formula this is. So if you have strong lines around your mouth, you might want to not go for this and pick this one instead. This one also creases, but it's nearly not as close as the Lakme one. So yeah, the Lakme foundation is supposed to be matte. It is specifically said to be made for photo related things, and I will say this looks absolutely gorgeous in camera. If you want a foundation specifically for that purpose, pick this one up. It looks stunning on your skin for photos and stuff. So the photo focus claim, I feel like it's pretty damn accurate. For the Lakme one, it says that it's a natural finish. I will agree. Even after being a fairly high coverage formula, this gives a really good finish. It is a little bit more dewy than the Wet n Wild one, and this one honestly just looks so good on skin. It genuinely gives you a flawless skin like finish. Amongst the ones that I own, I feel like this is the closest natural looking finish that I own, even better than this one. For photos, this one. For real life, I feel like I would choose this one. Both of these foundations look great on skin. I just prefer this slightly because it's a little bit more dewy, and I feel like you can see your skin through, but at the same time it gives you enough coverage. Yeah, the staying power, this foundation I wore in hot and heavy humid weather, and this has lasted me. I wore it probably at 8 or something, 8 or 9, and came back again at 8 or 9. This looked stunning on my skin. Even after a while, I did not find that it faded a lot. Did it fade? Yes, that's how foundations are, but it just wore so well. And even in heavy humid conditions, if the foundation looks good, then I feel like you can definitely trust this even for everyday basis. For this one, I've tried it for 7 to 8 hours, and I feel like it has worn well as well. It does say that it has primer in it, infused in it. I do not know how to check that claim, but does it last long? Yes. For both of these foundations, I did not wear a prominent primer. I only used my sunscreen to test them out, and it wore really well. Coming on to the transferability, this one transfers way less than this one. This one, as I said, has a natural, more dewy finish. It does say matte. I don't find it's matte. It takes a lot more time to dry down than this one. So obviously this does transfer a little bit more than this one. I personally haven't found a very prominent con about both of these except for their packaging, and somehow they have the same exact packaging, so I can't really help people choose in that aspect. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through the claims right now, and then we'll see which one actually stands through its claim. So I'm just gonna go through the claims for Wet n Wild one. There are not proper claims as a foundation, but I'm just gonna read everything through. So it says that it's a high performing breakthrough formula. I will agree, it did stand through pretty well. It also features light adjusting complex and tested under 7 lights. I haven't tested it under 7 lights. I do know that in photographs it looks well, in natural light it does look well, so that's the two aspects that I can tell for you guys. So yeah, also it supposedly prevents white cast. It does prevent white cast. I personally haven't noticed any sort of white cast even if I click photos with flash. So yeah, it does stay strong through all of its claims. Let's talk about the claims for the Lakme one. It has built-in primer. I cannot test that fact. Does it wear really well? It does. Natural finish, it does have really natural finish. It really just looks good on your skin. Long wear and flawless, I will agree to both of those claims too. I did find that it is pretty flawless, and it does wear well as well for the amount of time that I've tested. Coming on to the brand issue, for Wet n Wild one, I feel like their entire cruelty-free aspect is kind of questionable. I've explained it already, but just so you know, if you're a brand who wants to sell your makeup in China, then you have to test on animals. While Wet n Wild claims to be cruelty-free, they The explanation that was given by them was that if you're producing things in China, then you do not have to test them on animals in order to sell them in China. But the catch about it is that the government can anytime take products off your shelf for testing on animals and then decide if the product is fit for you. So yeah, technically they do not test on animals, but the government can at any time take products and test them themselves on animals. So Wet n Wild has to agree to that testing. So yeah, that is what the issue is. If you still find that Wet n Wild is cruelty free, I personally would consider them still cruelty free, then yeah, go ahead and make your purchase. For the Lakme one, I feel like one of the biggest issues is they have constantly been famous for foundations and notorious for only having 5 or 6 shades. Even now I feel like they have 10 foundation ranges and probably 3 of them are the only ones who have a proper shade range, and even the shade range that I personally have seen is not the best one out there. Also, they do claim out inclusivity by giving you 16 shades, but at the same time they do still sell things like skin whitening creams and lightening creams. Stop it, Lakme. You have so much that you can do. You can use your platform for so much and then you decide to utilize it for selling skin lightening creams. I get that a big consumer base for them are people who want to lighten their skin, and that is sad honestly, but I feel like unless brands stop promoting these things, the outlook of public is not gonna change. So please stop it. The last thing is Wet n Wild is made in China, Lakme is made in India. If that is a big thing for you, then yeah, obviously go for the Lakme one. If that does not bother you, go for the Wet n Wild one. So I think I've given enough points for you guys to make a decision for yourself. I personally prefer the Lakme ones. I've already repurchased that one, so that says enough about which one I prefer. Again, both are very comparable, so if you're not able to find your shade in the Lakme one, go for the Wet n Wild one, and vice versa. If you want Wet n Wild one, then go for the Lakme one. I'm gonna insert a short clip of how it looks before and after on my skin, both the Lakme and the Wet n Wild one. So yeah, let's cue that right now. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I hope the shade references were a little bit helpful as well. I think that is it. Let's just wrap this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next one. Bye.